It's unsettling how swiftly life can fall apart. One moment, everything feels solid, predictable, and in the next, it's like the ground beneath your feet dissolves into ash and stillness. Now here I am, 32 years old, back in the bedroom I grew up in, tucked away in my parents' house in Dallas. The walls are still decorated with faded posters of my teenage fascinations, and the desk is buried under a chaotic pile of old trinkets and dust-laced memories. I let out a dry, humorless laugh. The irony feels almost poetic. This wasn't the plan. This wasn't how my story was supposed to unfold. I'm Olivia, and I never thought my life would come to this. Combing through high school yearbooks and drowning in waves of nostalgia, trying to piece together the exact moments when it all started to fall apart. It began with Daniel. We first crossed paths at a housewarming party hosted by my friend Rachel. She had just moved into a picture-perfect townhouse, the kind of place I used to save on vision boards and fantasize about on lazy Sunday mornings. The second I stepped inside, I felt a quiet pang of envy rising in my chest. It wasn't just the warm decor or the soft scent of cinnamon candles in the air. It was her life. Rachel had it all. A booming career, a fiancé who adored her, a future that looked bright and beautifully planned. And there I stood, still single, exhausted by the endless parade of dating apps, surface-level small talk, and dead-end conversations. I had started to believe that maybe real love, the kind that lasts, just wasn't written into my story. Then I saw him, Daniel. He stood slightly apart from the crowd, tall, dark-haired, carrying a quiet energy that seemed to pull people toward him without effort. But it wasn't just his appearance that caught my eye, it was how he listened. He didn't seem like someone waiting for his turn to talk. He was present, fully there. His eyes didn't flicker around the room. His attention never wavered. We spoke for hours, effortlessly, like we'd known each other forever. And for the first time in what felt like ages, I felt something spark inside me, faint but alive. Maybe, just maybe, I had finally found someone who wouldn't leave. And for a while, that was true. Daniel became everything I'd ever hoped for, gentle, considerate, quietly romantic. I felt safe with him in a way I hadn't before. Ours was a love that flowed easily. No mind games. No confusion. Within a year, he proposed. A year after that, we exchanged vows under soft string lights and whispered, "I do." It was a dream I thought I wanted. A love built on trust. A man who didn't need grand gestures to prove his devotion. Daniel showed his love in countless small ways, tucking little notes into my purse, memorizing exactly how I like my coffee, fixing the squeaky kitchen cabinet without a word. And for a while, that was more than enough. But somewhere along the journey, I began to confuse his reliability with monotony. The patience I once found endearing started to feel dull. The quiet romance that used to make me melt now seemed invisible to my restless heart. He wasn't impulsive. He didn't whisk me away on spontaneous trips or surprise me with movie-worthy declarations of love. He was just there, steady, unshakable. And instead of treasuring that, I allowed uncertainty to sneak in. Had I traded passion for peace? Chosen comfort over fire? The question started as a soft murmur, barely noticeable. But soon it grew louder, like a storm brewing inside me, impossible to quiet. Everything came undone during a dinner party. It was a small gathering, just a few close friends, delicious food, mellow music, and open bottles of wine. The topic shifted to love, whether it's fate or timing, how we know if we found the right person. Without thinking, I blurted out a laugh and said, honestly, if I had the chance to do it again, I probably wouldn't marry Daniel. The room instantly froze. Laughter vanished. Glasses hung suspended midair. I felt my face go pale as I glanced at him. Daniel sat motionless, gripping his wine glass tightly, his expression unreadable. Then, with a voice low and cutting, he said, "Well, that's good to know." Panic rushed through me. I tried to brush it off, passing it off as a tasteless joke. But it was too late. Those words hung between us like a knife. He didn't raise his voice or argue. That night, he went to bed quietly, and by morning he was gone. His side of the bed was empty, his clothes vanished, toothbrush missing. But what tore me apart the most was what he left behind. His wedding ring, carefully placed on the nightstand next to a photo from our honeymoon. I stared at it, Numb. I called him. No answer. I sent messages. No reply. I convinced myself he just needed space, that he would return once the anger cooled. Days passed. Weeks. Then a month. That's when the truth hit me. He wasn't coming back. What hurt the most wasn't just his leaving. It was how easily he let go. While I was drowning in guilt and sorrow, he had already moved forward. One afternoon, I was walking downtown and saw him. He was at a small outdoor cafe, sunlight catching his hair, laughing and smiling with a woman who seemed to embody everything I feared I wasn't. Graceful, confident, glowing with calm assurance. She didn't need to demand attention. She simply owned the space. And Daniel looked at her the way he once looked at me, like she was his entire world. A flood of emotions washed over me. I wanted to run to him, fall to my knees, beg him to remember us, plead for one more chance. But I held back, because deep inside I knew he was truly gone. And worse, I finally accepted something painful. I never really deserved him. Regret doesn't scream. It whispers. It sneaks in during the quiet of the night, wraps itself around your spine in those still moments, sits silently beside you in the car, follows you into your dreams. I had something rare, something precious, and I let it slip away, chasing an illusion, a fantasy of something more passionate, more thrilling. But Daniel didn't walk away because he stopped loving me. He left because he realized I would never love him the way he truly deserved to be loved. Now, here I sit in this room surrounded by relics of the past, old trophies, photographs, high school journals, and I can barely breathe beneath the weight of everything I carelessly discarded. They say you don't realize what you have until it's gone, but that's not always the case. Sometimes you do know, you just never imagine you'll actually lose it.